Let's talk about the sum and difference pattern. So at the very top of the screen, we see sum and difference pattern, and we have this example up here, kind of using some algebra, a plus b times a minus b. So hopefully we can see why this is called the sum and difference pattern, right? So notice we have the same two terms, a and b, but on one of our binomials we are adding a and b, and on the other we are subtracting, okay? So if we look at this example over here, notice how we have x on both of our binomials. We have 4 on both of our binomials. One of those is just x plus 4, the other is x minus 4. So that's what the sum and difference pattern is going to look like. Now let's see how we can evaluate it. So if we were to just look at a plus b times a minus b and just multiply those two binomials like we don't know what this pattern is and just FOIL, let's see what happens. Let's see if we can come up with what the pattern should be. So if we FOIL this, we would do a times a would be a squared, a times negative b, which would be negative ab, b times a, which would be ab, and then b times negative b, which would be minus b squared, okay? So now what's going to happen to those two terms in the middle of our polynomial here? Well, they're going to cancel out, right? Negative ab plus ab, so it goes away. So what are we left with? We're left with a squared minus b squared, and that is the result of our sum and difference pattern. We have the difference of two squares. So a squared minus b squared. So now if we look at our example over here, x plus 4 times x minus 4, we can now evaluate these super quick because we have this pattern memorized. So essentially we're going to take our first term, which is x, we're going to square it. It's always going to be subtraction. And then we're going to take our second term, which is 4, and we're going to square that. Well, what's 4 squared? It is 16, right? So we can do that really quickly without having to use the process of FOIL. So now let's take a look at 3 examples here at the bottom, and let's show how we can do this pretty quickly. So we have 2x plus 7 times 2x minus 7. So just check to make sure this is set up for the sum and difference pattern. We've got 2x, we've got 7, one's addition, one's subtraction, we're good to go. So we can take 2x and we can square it. We're going to subtract, and we have 7, and we can square it. Now here, we need to be careful because 2x squared, we need to square 2, and we need to square x. So 2 squared is 4, and x squared, and then minus 49. Okay, so we get 4x minus 49. Now for number 2, we have x minus 8, x plus 8. So here we can just take our x, we can square it, and 8 squared would be 64. And our last example, we have 3x minus 2, 3x plus 2. So once again, we need to take our 3x and square it, and then minus 2 and then square it. So now 3x squared, remember, it's kind of like distributing, right? Give that exponent to the 3 and to the x. So we get 9x squared, and then minus 4, because 2 squared is 4. And so that is how you can use the sum and difference pattern to very, very quickly multiply two binomials.